Welcome back to the deep dive. So today we're looking at a concept that I have to admit sounds a little flowery at first. It's called the Heart's Secret Hearth.
It does sound like poetry, doesn't it?
Yeah, but the source material presents this as a surprisingly mechanical model, almost like a blueprint for emotional survival.
It really is. And I think we need to just get past that title right away because the core idea here kind of flips the script on how we usually think about the heart.
How so?
Well, we talk about the heart as this, source of huge raw emotion, passion, heartbreak, all that big stuff. But this model argues the heart's real job isn't just emotion, it's regulation.
Okay, regulation. That sounds almost like a thermostat. But isn't emotional regulation a brain thing? Prefrontal cortex telling the amygdala to calm down.
Metaphorically, yes, but it places the feeling of that regulation in the body. The sources distinguish between intensity and continuity.
A flare versus a hearth.
Exactly. A flare is that big, hot spike of emotion,
Yeah.
like that frantic need to text someone over and over because you feel a little disconnected. It's loud, it's demanding.
Oh, man. I think we've all been the flare at some point. It feels like you're doing something productive.
It does, but it burns out so fast. The hearth model is about generating this steady internal heat that doesn't need constant fuel from outside. The goal is, and I'm quoting here, to remain open without leaking, to feel without flooding.
Leaking, that word jumps out at me. We always hear that being vulnerable and open is the goal, but this suggests there's a line.
A critical line,
Mm.
it's about containment. And that's where the shutdown mechanism comes in. We feel so much shame when we feel closed off or numb.
We think we're being cold or cruel.
Right. But the model is clear. The heart never closes out of cruelty. It closes to preserve heat. It's a survival mechanism.
So it's like a conservation mode, a freeze response, maybe.
It's pure thermodynamics for your emotions. If the world outside is freezing, a toxic job, a chaotic relationship, you don't leave the front door wide open. You shut it to keep your core from freezing.
That makes perfect sense for a crisis, but what about when you get stuck there? The goal isn't to live in a bunker forever.
No, and that's where neglect comes in. When you feel that chronic emptiness, it's almost never because your love is gone. It's because the hearth has been untended.
From what? What causes that?
The sources list a few things. Constant vigilance is a big one, always scanning for threats, and also self-abandonment.
Okay, self-abandonment. What does that actually look like in practice?
It's pouring all of your energy, all your warmth into everyone else's hearth. You're constantly managing other people's feelings, over-giving to feel safe, and your own fire it burns down to embers.
And then the impulse is to force it, right? To perform happiness or go on a bunch of dates to prove you're not broken.
Which is the absolute worst thing you can do. It's like trying to start a fire with gasoline, just a big fake flare. The material is so clear on this. Restoration isn't about effort, it's about gentleness.
Care without performance.
Yes.
Give me an example of that, because today, almost all care feels like a performance.
It means setting a boundary without needing to send a 3-paragraph text justifying it. It means resting when you're tired without posting about it to prove you're into self-care.
Yeah.
You stop arguing with your own needs.
You stop leaking energy trying to justify your own existence.
And the hearth just naturally starts to warm up again.
I can see that, but I have to play devil's advocate here. If everyone is just quietly tending their own little internal fire, doesn't intimacy get, a little boring? Where's the spark if there's no chase?
The spark changes. It stops being about anxiety and becomes about stability. The source says, 2 hearths do not compete. They warm each other naturally.
Oh.
When your warmth is self-sustaining, love stops being so urgent. You don't need your partner to be your fuel source.
So you're not extracting heat from them. You're sharing the warmth you already have.
Exactly. And that changes everything. It gives you incredible discernment. You can feel who brings cold air into the room. You can let sadness or grief move through you without it freezing your core. You become the shelter, not the storm.
Being able to feel the cold without becoming the cold, that's resilience.
That's it right there. It's kindness without depletion.
Okay, so here's the thought to leave everyone with this week. If you feel your heart closing up, if you're feeling that numbness creeping in, maybe stop trying to force it open. Instead, just ask yourself this. What heat are you trying to preserve right now? And where has your attention gone that left your own hearth to grow cold?
A vital question.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you next time.